Hey guys, this is Miss Guerrero. How are you? I hope you're doing fine. Today we are going to go over chapter 5. We're going to start this, and as I told you before, we have to learn a different past tense. So far, you are going to learn 2 this year. You have learned the preterite tense, the past tense that is used for simple done actions, as in actions that are completed one time. And there's another past tense, we call them the imperfect tense. And that's what this video is about. You have either on Google Classroom this packet of notes, and it's a small packet, it's not a lot, so you don't have to worry about that. We have some vocab that we had before we left for spring break. I'm gonna go over the vocab, the pronunciation, the meanings. You can access them on the printout or also on Google Classroom. I'm gonna go from the first one, and feel free to say it after me, practice your pronunciation. All right, let's go for the first one. Una feria, una fiesta, el santo patrón, la santa patrona, una procesión, un desfile patronal, los muertos, los difuntos, el camposanto, el cementerio, el mausoleo, la tumba, una ofrenda, una corona de flores, una corona de flores. Next we have una calavera, un cráneo, cráneo, un esqueleto, un hueso, un disfraz, una máscara, enterrado, la Navidad, la Nochebuena, la chimenea, desfilar, caminar, la casa de la abuela, un aguinaldo. Then we go to the second column. Los Reyes Magos, el camello, la paja, el árbol de Navidad, una banda municipal, una banda municipal, Hanukkah o Hanukkah, feliz Hanukkah o feliz Hanukkah, la fiesta de las luces, la fiesta de las luces, la menora, la vela, judío, hebreo, los fuegos artificiales, un desfile, el bizcocho, dulce, el cielo, mientras, todo el mundo, decorar, encender, celebrar, confeccionar, elaborar, bailar, iluminar. All right, guys, that's the first page. Second page. It's pretty much the same verbs, but adding more that you're gonna see on this lesson. The definitions are on the printout or also on Google Classroom. And you have learned all these words before, so I'm not gonna go over pronunciation with that. But we're gonna step into your notes. If you have a printout, you're gonna have a paper like this. If you are going to fill them out online, I would suggest that you take notes on a separate paper if you cannot print them out, and then you can go back, once the video is done, you can fill them out online. All right, we're gonna start with the first sentence. I want you to highlight, if you can, the first sentence that it's saying that the imperfect tense, it is used to say things that you used to do, or you did repeatedly, in the past. Okay. The good thing about the imperfect tense is one of my favorite tenses because it only has 2 sets of endings. You don't have to worry a lot about remembering, a bunch of irregulars or stuff like that. 2 sets of endings. The AR verbs are going to use aba for the first one, for yo. Abas for 2. Aba for él, ella, and usted. Habamos for the nosotros form with an accent mark over the A, first A. And for ellos, ellas, and ustedes, haban. ER and IR verbs, they are going to use the same endings. We have ia for yo. I'm going to put an accent mark over the I. Yes, accent mark over the I. Ia for él, ella, and usted. For nosotros, any guess, guys? Íamos. Don't forget your accent. And ian for the last one. The good thing about the imperfect tense, like I said, it's less complex, less things to memorize, to learn. So 2 endings. The good thing, you don't have stem change, so no stem changers. And also, you're gonna love this one. No cargarzar. No cargarzar effect, okay? Or spelling. That's the good thing about it. Now, one little tiny example of how to conjugate. For example, the verb hablar. Okay, so to say I used to talk, remember, take the AR off. I take that AR off, and we're gonna use these endings to substitute the AR. So I used to talk, or I used to speak. Yo hablaba. This is your new ending. You used to talk, you used to speak. Habl, take the AR off and put the new one. Habas. Hablabas. Here's your new ending. And he or she or usted used to talk or speak. Hablaba. Now, some of you might wondering this. Ms. G, what's the difference between this one and that one? How are you going to tell? Well, you must specify your subject. Yo, here you'll have él, ella, and usted. Make sure that you clarify it right there so we know who is it that we're talking about. Those are the only ones that you are going to have to specify. And third person plural as well. All right. Having this said, we do have 3 irregulars, and that's it. These are the only 3 bad boys that we have in the imperfect tense. So far, we are going to have the verb ser, and the verb ser means to be. Remember, to be is for permanent stuff. You can watch the previous video to go over the uses of ser. Remember that for ser, we have the acronym doctor. If you look on the video, it will tell you how to use the acronym doctor for the verb ser. Now, the conjugation of ser, to say I used to be or I was. We're going to put yo era, tú eras, él era, nosotros éramos, with an accent mark over the E, and ellos, ellas, ustedes eran. For example, I was a student from NHS. Yo era una estudiante en NHS. Ver. Ver means to see, and it's irregular. To say I used to see, yo veía. Look at the spelling, it's irregular because if we take just the ER off, you just have a V, but look at the ending. If we take a look at the previous chart that we use, ER and IR, you have IA, IAS, IA. But look, here I kept that E. So watch out, this is why it's irregular. It doesn't follow the regular rules. So I used to see, yo veía, tú veías, él veía, nosotros veíamos, ellos veían. Example, I used to see my grandma every day. Yo veía a mi abuela every day. Todos los días. Accent over días. Okay. This is one example. And the last irregular, ir. Ir a means to go to a place, okay? Remember, if you have ir, you get the combo loco, 2 for the price of 1. The A must go with ir. They do not separate at all. All right, so the conjugation of ir, to say I used to go. Yo iba a, you see why it's irregular? If you take the IR off from the verb, the ending, there's nothing left. So we have this one, used to go. Iba, ibas a. Él, ella iba a. Nosotros íbamos a. And ellos, ellas, ustedes iban a. Example, I was going to study. Yo iba a estudiar. Was going to study. You have to put the A, okay? Sometimes the A doesn't translate, but you have to have it. Combo loco, 2 for the price of 1. All right, we're good. Make sure that if you need more time to take notes, pause the video as we go. You can do this at your own pace, all right? Let's do one example right here of ser before I forget. We could say, we used to be friends. Nosotros éramos, and then friends. Now, some of you might say amigo. Only one person was a friend, or both of us, or all of us? All of us. Since this is plural, this must be plural as well, okay? And that's for ser, okay? Now, on your notes, the next section that we have is this one, some phrases. So we're gonna go over them. First one, when I was a kid. First of all, when we say when, we have the word cuando. Now, some of you might put an accent mark over the A. Right here, we're not going to put an accent mark because we are not asking. We're stating a question. I mean a statement. We're stating a statement. If we were to ask a question, when did it happen? Then you put the accent mark. When you're creating a question, all your word questions, they will have an accent mark. So, when I was a kid, cuando yo. Now, to say was. On the previous lesson, you had some notes of how to say was or were. This was it. So, which one I'm going to pick? Ser, estar, tener, or poder? When I was a kid, which is the perfect one to write down? Is it plus to be a verb? I mean, verb to be able to do something? No. Is it an idiom? To be a kid. Is it an idiom? Sed, hambre, frío, calor, suerte, miedo, sueño. This is none of them to be a kid. So you can eliminate this one. It's between ser and estar. When I was a kid, am I talking about a position, location, actions, conditions, as in my health, emotions? No. So you can eliminate estar. The only one left is ser. Which description would it fit the best? Is going to be description, physical description. So we're going to use the verb ser. So the verb ser in imperfect tense. Cuando yo era. And then a kid. Un niño. But if you're a girl, we're going to have to change this one to una niña. Okay? Phrases. These are the phrases that you might see, or more likely you're going to see with the imperfect tense. Next phrase. When I was little. Cuando yo. When I was little. Back again to was and where. So, is it poder plus a verb to be able to do something? No. We're looking for a description. So you can eliminate tener because it's not one of the idioms to be little. It's not a position, location, actions, conditions as in health or emotions. It's ser. Again, physical description to be when you were little. That's a physical description. So we're going to use ser. So cuando yo, and then right here to say was. Era, and then little. Starts with a P. Anybody knows? Pequeño. Now, if you're a girl, you'll have to change that to pequeña. Okay? Make sure that it always agrees with who you're talking about or who is speaking. Okay? Next one. When I was 5 years old. I want you to put a star on this one. Okay? To talk about your age. To be so many years old. How do you say I am 15 years old? I am 16 years old. What verb do we use? We use the verb tener. Remember that you say tengo 16 años. When they ask you, ¿cuántos años tienes? How old are you? Tengo 15 años. Tengo 16 años. Tengo 17 años, etc. So, to be so many years old, you have to use the verb tener, guys. So put a star on that one. So to start the phrase, when I was 5 years old. Cuando, no accent. Yo, and then we have the verb tener. Tener is not part of the 3 irregular verbs, guys. It's not ser, ver or ir a. So that means that the verb tener, you only have to take the ending off and put the new one. We're going to use this set of endings. So when I was 5 years old, we're going to use this conjugation right here. Ya. So cuando yo tenía, and then 5 years old, 5 años, when I was 5 years old. Make sure that you put your squiggle, okay? You know how picky I am with that, because you know it changes the meaning of the word. Now, if you printed out the notes, make sure that you highlighted was 5 years old. Highlight all of this, so it, you know, it takes it catches your eye. Now, next one, the word wanted. What's the verb to want? This is from the previous lesson. I sent y'all a Quizlet with a bunch of verbs, irregular verbs, and to want was one of them. Anyone remembers? Starts with a Q. Exactly, querer. All right, so to say I wanted, yo, and querer is not part of these three irregulars in the imperfect tense. We are going to only take the ER off from querer, and we're going to use the new sets of endings. Querer is an ER verb, so we're only going to take the ER off and put your new ending, okay? So yo quería, I wanted. There are different ways, you know, that you can use the verb querer. You wanted something, like for example, a chocolate, un chocolate, a candy, un dulce. Or how about if I wanted to say that I wanted to visit my grandma? Yo quería visitar a mi abuela. Now we put the A when you have a name of a person right after a verb, okay? Remember, verb, a, name. Always put the A between a verb and a name of a person. All right, let's test your knowledge. Siempre. The word siempre means always. These are the keywords that they will pop up with the imperfect tense. Why? Because it's things that the imperfect tense, you use it to say things that you used to do or did repeatedly. Always means that it was repetitive in the past. So we have always. En los veranos, you could say in the summers. And on whichever way you say it. And we're going to use more than one summer because, like I said, things that you used to do. You're going to talk about things that you used to do. So in more than one summer, in all of them, etc. En los fines de semana. Or los fines de semana. On the weekends. This is going to be plural because you have plural right there. En las vacaciones. On vacations. More than one vacation. Todo el tiempo, y'all know this one. All the time. Todos los días. Every day. And todo el día. If right here you're talking about multiple días, all of them. Take a look at this. Todo el día. How many days are we talking about? Only one. So, all day. Okay. All right. Next one. Turn the page. We just finished this page, and now we have the examples, okay? Remember, these are going to be the only endings, and this will be the only 3 irregular verbs. Ser, ver, and ir a. All right. Let's see. I'm going to write the answers on this white paper because I don't have enough space right here to write big enough so y'all can see it. All right, so let's do this. Number 1. When I was a kid, you have that phrase from the phrases that you just filled out. So we have cuando yo era, and then here's going to depend. If you're a guy, un niño, or if you're a girl, una niña. Say, I used to run every day. What's the verb to run? Used to run. We have the verb correr right here. So the rule says, take the ending off and put the new one. Look at your notes and let me know what's the form that we're going to write right there. Corría, exactly. Yo corría, and then every day. Todos los días. Number 2. And guys, corría right here. It says used to run. Those 2-3 words right there, used to run. It's all in one word in Spanish. Corría. Number 2, I used to read books with my grandma. What's the verb to read books? To read. We have the verb leer. So we are going to take the ending off and we are going to conjugate according to the subject, which in this case is yo. So take the ER off and then look at your endings. It's going to be ia. Yo leía. Leía means used to read. I used to read. And then books. Libros, more than one book, make it plural. With, con, my grandma, mi abuela. Next one, number 3. When you were little, you visit me all the time. Now, on your notes, let's see if I can pull this up here. Guys, sorry about this, but I'm in my kitchen. This is as good as it's gonna get, so hang in there with me. As you know, this is an IOP, an indirect object pronoun. And where does the IOP go? Right at the beginning, exactly. Right before the subject and the verb. All right, so it says you used to visit me. So, but we first have the phrase when you were little. Cuando you were little. Tú. And then we're gonna use the verb ser. It's a description. Cuando tú eras. Ser is irregular. It's one of those 3. Cuando tú eras, and then little. Pequeño or pequeña, whichever one you want to pick. Coma. You visit me all the time, or used to visit me all the time. Tú, with an accent. And then here's where the IOP kicks in. Tú me, that's your IOP. Tú me, and then visit. You have the verb visitar. Take the ending off. And what's going to be the new one according to your notes? Visitabas. Tú me visitabas. Here is your subject-verb agreement. You don't conjugate it with the IOP. You conjugate it with the subject, the person that is performing the action. So, tú me visitabas all the time. Todo el tiempo. Next one. Number 4. When we were little, Jake was tall and I was short. Let's see. When, cuando. We were little. Nosotros. We're going to take this form right here, guys, from when you were little. We're going to change that verb and we're going to put it in the nosotros form. Éramos. And then little. Now you have the word pequeño or pequeña, but think about it. How many were little? Only one person or multiple? Multiple. So we gotta put pequeños when we were little, comma. Jake was tall. Jake. Now to say was. 4 ways of saying was. We're looking for a physical description. Which verb are you going to pick? Ser. Exactly. So in the right form of ser, which is irregular, like this one, Jake era, and then tall, alto. He's a guy, so alto must be singular masculine. And then I was short. I was short. So that's another physical description. So we're going to use the same verb. Era. And then short. You have bajo. Or if you're a girl like me, I will put baja. Depending on who is yo. Next one. Número 5. It says yesterday. Ayer. Coma. The weather was good, but I was sick. To talk about the weather, we could say the weather was good. We're going to put the phrase hacía. That's the verb hacer. Buen tiempo. To say the weather was good. Hacía buen tiempo. This comes from the verb hacer. H-A-C-E-R. Hacía buen tiempo. Pero I was sick. And then how would you say was sick? Ser, estar, tener, or poder. To be sick. You're talking about your health. So that's going to be estar. Estar is not irregular in the past, in the imperfect tense. So all you have to do is take the ending off and put the new ending. Estaba, and then sick. Enfermo. Number 6. When we were 7 years old, put a start on this one, we used to eat a lot of candy. Cuando we were 7 years old. To express your age, you are going to put the verb tener. Cuando nosotros teníamos 7 años, when we were 7 years old, we used to eat a lot of candy. The verb to eat, comer. Nosotros Comíamos. And then how many candies? Only one or multiple? Multiple. So we're going to put muchos, then candies. Dulces. Make an agreement. I don't know if you're able to see this one. Make sure that you put your squiggly line, okay? All right, next one. We're almost done. Bear with me. Number 8. Says my cousins wanted to visit us in the summer. Put a star on that one. Visit us. That's your IOP. And the IOP goes to the left right before the verb, okay? So, my cousins, more than one cousin to make me plural, so mis. And then cousins, primos, more than one cousin, make it plural. These two must be in agreement. IOP, wanted to visit us. The IOP for us, it's going to be nos. N-O-S, nos. And then wanted, that's the verb querer. Take the ER off from querer and then put your new ending. Querían. This is going to be in agreement with primos. Wanted to visit us. Querer plus a verb. To visit. Visitar, you don't have to conjugate. Second verbs, 1, 2. Don't get ever conjugated, so leave it in visitar. Nos querían visitar in the summer. And one summer. El verano. Number 9. You used to call me every day. We have another situation right here. You used to call me. This is your IOP, indirect object pronoun, and the IOP goes right before the verb, okay? Okay, so tú with an accent, and then me, to say me, you're gonna put me, tú me, and then call. Which verb are we going to use for the verb call?